Yeah, it's like a via negativa zealotry. And I think I've talked to like all you guys individually about this, but what I'm bringing up like more specifically is like, because I struggle with this all the time. So I'm really, at the end of the day, you know, I'm talking about the voices inside my own head, but it's like when, you know, you only have like an hour to talk to a potential client, right? You're going to simplify all the things we all talk about. That we thought about when constructing portfolios, the way we look at backtests, all of those things. And the hard part I find in my own mind is like you said, if I keep using this example, if you do a 100-year backtest and you're overlaying real returns because you're using CPI and you go to put that out, I know in the back of your head and all your guys' heads, there's like, well, that's not exactly right. You know, that there's a caveat and nuance there. But like, if we start talking about caveats and nuance, and we start pulling on those threads, we're going to be here for 3 days trying to talk to clients. And to me, it's a conundrum that I'm trying to illuminate just my own stressors about like trying to simplify so you get your point across to that potential client versus accuracy of what you know is even falsifiable about the information you're currently saying. So you have this like dichotomy inside your own mind where the voices are yelling at each other while you're just trying to simplify and get your point across. But then you know that like it's not quite that simple.
Yeah, but there's dissonance everywhere. And I mean, the reality is most clients they're not interested. They don't want to, you know, dig into the details. Some do. They're our clients, right? Like our clients tend to be those people that like to read research, watch videos, read white papers, etc. Right? But most people just don't. And then, like at a more abstract level, I think most people have a really hard time grasping, you know, concepts like what we've lived is one history, one timeline out of a multitude of potential timelines. You know, history could have gone very, very differently based on a very small number of what might seem like extremely minor changes to, you know, to dynamics along the way, right? And so we shouldn't think that we can learn more from history, the history that actually manifested, than we actually can, right? Because there's just so much randomness in all of these outcomes, right? But most people are uncomfortable with that. They haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it and sort of trying to inject conversations with that level of sort of historical humility or understanding of the stochastic nature of life in the universe is usually counterproductive to people making decisions, right? And the more we try to go down those rabbit holes, the less likely people are to make decisions that are in their best interest.
That's right. I mean, with Adam, it's like the amount of caveats. You know, he makes a statement and he's like, well, let me back up for a second because I can see 3 scenarios by which this doesn't happen. And so half an hour goes by and you still haven't gotten the answer from him, right? So over the last 10 years, we've coached Adam to stop being so precise and more be broadly correct, right? Especially when you're communicating for the first time with somebody that requires your help. I mean, this is where the fiduciary discussion comes in, right? If you are an advisor and clients are coming to you, this is the behavioral side where you have to talk about Mike's skis and bikes, right? That analogy is broadly correct, but it also misses many of the points that we want to get to, right? But it's enough. It's enough to get them to say yes. And you as a fiduciary have the responsibility to do the right things that require the minutia and the deep understanding. But you've made them move in the right direction. And if they're interested, they'll go to the next level and the next level. And that's what one hopes over time, right?
Wait, did Mike come up with skis and bikes?
Mike did, I think.
I'm just learning this right now, Mike. Rodrigo's always taking credit for that in my mind. Whenever I bring up how great, how great
You've given me credit, and I have said nothing about it.
He didn't refute it. Yeah. Skis and Bikes is one of my favorite papers of all time because it says exactly what we're talking about very simply. Like, what if you're wrong, right? And that's the beauty of Skis and Bike is proper diversification.
But note that also comes from a first principles perspective. That's 4. Right? Like if you say to a person from an intuitive perspective, do you want a ski company or do you want a bike company? They'll say, well, both, obviously. Why obviously? Because there's fundamental reasons why you want to have cash flows both in the summer and the winter, right? Yeah. It's just a beautiful, super simple